Okay, something just happened in the world of cybersecurity that, well, it changes everything. And this isn't some theory, it's a real-world demonstration. And yeah, it should probably make you a little nervous.
An AI just learned how to think like a master hacker. I'm talking about a fully functional kernel-level exploit. It didn't just find a bug, it weaponized it. It went straight for the absolute core of a computer's operating system, which shows a level of understanding that is, honestly, a little terrifying.
And get this, this wasn't some huge month-long project with a team of experts. Nope. A single researcher guided this AI with less than 20 simple prompts. 20! And that was enough to go from just knowing about a vulnerability to launching a full-blown attack on a computer's core.
So the big question is, how is this even possible? I mean, how did an AI pick up a skill that takes the best human hackers years to master? Well, we're about to break down exactly what went down.
First off, let's be clear. This isn't just some abstract lab experiment. What this AI created is basically a proof of concept for a whole new class of weapon. And it's one that targets the very operating systems that run, well, everything, from our phones to the stock market.
So, why should you care about this? Well, the kernel, that's like the brain of an operating system. If you can hack that, you control absolutely everything. This AI didn't just pick a lock. It basically got the master key to the entire digital world.
Now, to really get what the AI pulled off here, you first need to understand just how insanely difficult this is supposed to be. Modern computers are basically built like digital fortresses, designed from the ground up to stop exactly this kind of thing from happening.
See, back in the day, hacking could be pretty straightforward. You'd find a weakness, you'd slip your own malicious code into memory, and then you just tell the computer to run it. Simple. But today, not so much. For one, critical parts of a computer's memory are now marked as non-executable. You just can't run code from there. And second, there's this amazing defense called ASLR, which stands for Address Space Layout Randomization. It's constantly shuffling where everything is located in memory. It's a moving target, so the attacker has no idea where to aim. The specific vulnerability the AI went after is a classic. It's called a buffer overflow. The easiest way to think about it is like this. Imagine you're filling out a form, right? But your answer is way too long, so it spills out of its little box and starts writing over the official instructions printed next to it. Just like that, you've hijacked the form's entire logic. Okay, so the AI couldn't just write its own code into memory, so it had to get clever, really clever. It decided to use this incredibly sophisticated technique, one that's usually reserved for elite human hackers, to get around all those modern defenses.
It's a technique called return-oriented programming, or ROP for short. And honestly, the best way to understand it is to think about making a ransom note. You can't use your own handwriting, right? So you grab a newspaper, you find all the individual words and letters you need, and you cut them out and paste them together to create a brand new, malicious message the newspaper never intended to create.
So here's how this ROP attack actually works. First, the AI scans the entire program, looking for tiny, useful bits of code that are already there. These are called gadgets. Then, for step 2, it uses that buffer overflow we talked about to write a list of the addresses of these gadgets onto what's called the stack. You can think of the stack as the computer's short-term to-do list. And finally, step 3, it hijacks the whole program, forcing it to jump from one of those gadget addresses to the next, one by one, executing the AI's secret instructions.
And each one of these little ROP gadgets is just a tiny piece of perfectly normal code that just so happens to end with the return command. That return is the key. It's what allows the attacker to jump to the next gadget in the chain, essentially stringing them all together to create a whole new program out of spare parts.
But look, knowing how to build a ROP chain is one thing. That's impressive, sure. But the part that is truly stunning, the moment this whole thing went from being just a technical trick to a real display of strategic thinking, well, that was something else.
You see, the AI's real genius wasn't in the hack itself. It was the escape plan. It wasn't just about how it got in. It was about how it planned to get out.
This is where the AI showed some serious foresight. Look, anybody can crash a computer's kernel. It's easy, it's loud, it's obvious. But this AI understood that after its attack was over, it had to clean up after itself. It knew to call a very specific function, kthread_exit, to end its own process cleanly. And what does that do? It leaves the system perfectly stable and makes the intrusion completely invisible.
So let's recap the AI's full 4-stage plan.
Step 1, use the ROP chain to make a section of memory executable. Step 2, write its new, malicious code into that now unlocked section. Step 3, jump to that code and gain total control. And finally, Step 4, the master stroke, exit cleanly. You see, this wasn't some clumsy, brute force attack. This was a multi-step, intelligent, and incredibly stealthy operation.
What we just saw, this single event, it signals a massive shift. It really makes you wonder if we're entering a kind of arms race that we just can't win, one where offensive AI is moving forward at a truly inhuman speed.
In fact, researchers are already calling this a transient period. And what they mean by that is, it's a dangerous window of time. A window where AI gives the attackers a huge advantage in speed, letting them develop these super complex exploits way faster than human defenders can ever hope to patch the holes or build new defenses.
So let's boil this all down. What are the big takeaways here? First, AI can now write seriously complex exploits that get around our best modern defenses.
Second, it's not just coding, it's thinking strategically, it's planning ahead, and it's covering its tracks.
And third, this is throwing gasoline on the fire of the cybersecurity arms race. That gap between the attackers and the defenders, it's getting wider, and it's getting wider fast.
And all of this leaves us with one last, pretty unsettling question. We're building AIs that can attack, and we're building AIs that can defend. But as these things get more powerful, more autonomous, fighting battles against each other in microseconds, who or what is truly in control?